Is your baby quite upset at regular intervals, or so unconsolable that no matter what you do, it doesn't seem to make them feel better? Or you just have long periods of crying and you're at your wit's end and you just want ways to help your baby to be calm and relaxed and to sleep? Well, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm here to talk to you today a little bit more in depth about the 5 S's, which was written about by Dr. Harvey Karp. But I'm also going to add in an extra S just because, well, there's another one to add in. Hello there, my name is Maria and I am the owner and founder of the New Mummy Company here in Oakville, Ontario. And today this video is all about how you can help your baby to settle using the 5 S's technique, but today I'm going to make it the 6 S's technique. Today I want to be able to give you the confidence and the skills to be able to settle your baby when they are overexhausted because they are overstimulated or overtired, or you just seem to have a baby who needs that little extra piece of care and attention to be able to settle them down. So I hope that today's video will be informative and helpful for you if you are struggling with that aspect of caring for your baby. And if you are, just please know that you're not alone. There are so many parents right across the world who have babies who cry and they just don't know what else they can do for them. So hopefully you'll be able to put these techniques in place and they will give you and your baby a couple of more settled periods in the afternoon, maybe even at night, but certainly to make sure that your evenings where that witching hour typically takes place is a little less stressful for everybody. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to talk about is swaddling. So here you can see that my baby has been swaddled quite securely. The nice thing about this swaddle blanket or swaddling sleep sack is that it is very secure and it is very parent proof because in here you will see the instructions as to how to swaddle. Now, if you are not comfortable with swaddling or you're not familiar with swaddling or you're a little unsure as to how to swaddle, then please go back to our other video where we cover swaddling in great detail and tell you how to do it. So I'm not going to do that here, but please go check that one out. So if your baby is swaddled, like this baby is here, you can see that their hands are in, but their legs are free. Now, this wouldn't be recommended for your baby to put them upside down, but to show you, you can see that what the focus is on with this baby is the arms. We want to secure the arms. We want to give them that feeling of secureness, which they would have felt in the womb, because in the womb, there wouldn't have been a tremendous amount of space for them to be able to have their hands be like little helicopters. So we want to give them that element of security. It's like giving them a big hug. So by swaddling them, we take away these arms that can go all over their hands and face, and just to help keep them overstimulated, and can also help them to wake them up if they were indeed settling to sleep, particularly if your baby still has one of those startle reflexes, the Mora reflex in particular, because it will stimulate them back up if they were starting to fall asleep. So swaddling gives that womb-like sensation, helps your baby to feel secure, helps them to feel like they can start to relax, and then everything else from here on in with all the other techniques really starts to help them to calm down and to settle down. So the second S is shushing. Yes, shushing. So you have a couple of different options as to how you shush your baby. So the first thing you can do is hold them really close and shush in their ear, just like this. Shh, shh, shh. Now, obviously, that's going to take quite a bit of patience if it takes your baby time to settle down. The other options that you have is a baby shusher, where you can buy a piece of equipment that does exactly that sound and it does it for you. Or you can use white noise. The reason that we're suggesting this is because in the womb, your baby would have heard your blood gushing through your body, and that is a very similar sound. So again, we're replicating that womb-like sensation and those familiar sounds to your baby to help them to relax and to help them to feel like everything is safe and they can settle. So you can do that shushing, or you can purchase a piece of equipment to be able to help you to do that for you. But a lot of people will do absolutely anything to make their baby calm down, and so in which case you will hold your baby nice and close and shh, 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 using your voice because you are doing something will make you feel like you are actively involved in helping to settle your baby, which in turn makes you feel like you are in control of the situation and you're making your baby relax. But you'll also begin to hold your baby and begin to feel them relax, which obviously will make you start to relax. So if you've managed to get your baby swaddled and shushing, you might already start to notice that your baby is beginning to calm and relax a little bit. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to continue with all of the 5 S's and the 6th, if necessary. So the third S is on their side. So I already have baby instinctively on their side. Now, side lying is not recommended for sleep. It does not meet safe sleep standards. But for this situation, to get baby to settle and get baby to go to sleep, this is absolutely fine. First of all, baby's in my arms. So I'm going to hold baby nice and close, nice and tight. So again, I'm reaffirming that hug that we talked about with the swaddle, but I'm holding them nice and close. I can do this again, and I can shush. So now I have 3. I have the side, I have the shh, and I have the swaddle. This might almost be enough to get your baby to calm down and start to settle, but we will keep going. So right now it's going to look like this with shh, shh, shh. And baby will start to settle very, very quickly. If at this point you notice that baby is not really beginning to settle, that's where we can add in the swaying or the swinging. Now, you have a couple of options as to how you will do this. Ultimately, you could put baby in a swing and have a mechanical swing do this for you. And that situation is fine if you have other children, if you have multiples, if there are other things going on in the house where you don't have the ability to stay and shush your baby at the same time. So that's where you could put baby in a mechanical swing. You can turn on the baby shusher. They can be on their side, they can be monitored, and they can be swaddled. This type of swaddle will allow for them to be able to go into the swing because you can still have the straps come up between their legs. So if you have to put your baby in a swing, they can be on their side, the shusher noise can be on, they can be swinging in there, and they can be swaddled. And there you have your 4 S's. But it probably is better, if you can at all, to have them in your arms, nice and close, give them that hug, then know that they're already swaddled, begin the shushing and the swaying. And so those are your 4. So it will look like this. Shh, 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 shh. You really should start to notice your baby starting to calm now. However, if your baby is not, there is one more thing that you can do within the existing S's. And the first thing we have to do is rule out if your baby is hungry. So we wouldn't have started this if we thought baby was hungry. So first of all, we're going to go with a non-nutritive sucking option, which is your pacifier. So At this point, I can continue with my swaying and my shushing, and I can give baby a pacifier. And now it's going to look a little like this. Shh, shh, shh. At this point, it is probably a good idea to make sure that you are turning down the lights, maybe turning off the TV or the radio. If there are other children in the house, maybe move to a different area of the house so that there isn't as much stimulation for your baby. Try and remove as many stimulatory options for them as possible so that they can focus on the shushing and being shushed and swayed and sucking, and then they can relax from the hug from you and the swaddle. Because if we've got lots of stimulation going on elsewhere, it could be enough to just bring them out of that cycle as they're starting to settle. And an overtired baby, as I'm sure you know by now, is not an easy candidate to get them to settle. It can take so long. So if you're starting to see progress, just get everybody out of your way so that they can take the noise with them. When you're starting to see baby relax in this position, just keep going and you should see a very, very quick change in your baby. If, however, you don't, then maybe we need to revisit the option that baby is actually hungry. If baby is not a pacifier taker, then yes, we would go to the boob if you're breastfeeding, because some babies are instinctively going to feel that closeness with you and that sense of relaxation because they can smell you and feel you and know that they're in the best possible place to be able to relax. And who knows, within a moment or two of being on the breast, you'll probably see them starting to drift off. And then, of course, that's the best possible thing for them, particularly if they've had a bit of a rough period. So if you do need to feed them, by all means you can, but just knowing that if you are continuing with any of the other S's at the same time, it's probably going to be a very quick feed because all of the things are very conducive to getting them to settle and getting them to sleep. Now, the sixth S that we mentioned was skin to skin. So you may end up doing the 5 S's that we've just mentioned in a different order. So the first thing that you could do instead of swaddling is to go directly for skin to skin. And that is anybody who cares for baby can do skin to skin, but particularly if you're a breastfeeding mom, because that way then baby is going to know and feel very comfortable in your chest and know that that area is a very safe space for them. Then you can continue with absolutely everything else. If you need to, you can wrap a blanket around them so you're not swaddling them in the same way, but you can still have them very close. So you can put them, just move the pacifier, you can put them on your side, in between your breasts, and have them here, and then you can sway. If your baby's a little bit on the bigger side, then maybe using a wrap or a carrier might help to take some of the weight from you so that you're not physically holding the weight of the baby in your arms. That way the carrier can take the weight and you can use your arms to give that tight hug, to give them that sensation of a hug. So those are the 6 S's. I have found them very successful in my time in doing what I do. And I remember very, very fondly one position that I went to interview for. It was a set of twins. And I walked in and Mum handed me one of the babies and said, "I'll be right back." Baby was crying, baby was upset. And so I followed the 5 S's. And by the time Mum came back into the room from the kitchen, the baby was asleep. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. She instantly thought I was the baby whisperer and hired me on the spot. But obviously I had to let her know what I had done and why I had done it. And then she knew from that I had the experience that she was looking for, to be able to trust me to come in and take care of her babies. So that is why I wanted to share this with you today, because I have found it so helpful. And you don't have to do all 5 or all 6. You do what you need to do, and you do it to the extent that works for you and your baby. But if anything that I have come to realize is any parent will do anything to make their child happy. And if your baby is upset, you'll go to the ends of the earth to make them happy. And this is a very simple way of doing it. So I hope that you'll be able to try this out at some point when your baby gets overtired or overstimulated. And that happens all too easily because babies don't have a very big wake window, particularly when they're very young. So make sure you're watching for those tiredness cues, and as soon as they come, get your baby settled for bed so that you don't have to do all of these every time, or that you don't end up with a very fractious baby. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, I'd love to get a thumbs up. If you've genuinely had to use the 5 S's and had to make use of them, let us know what works for you. What was it that really sort of ticked the box and got your baby to go to sleep? Was it the swaddling? Was it the shushing? Was it when they got cuddled into your arms? Let us know. We would love to hear. And if you're finding the videos informative and helpful, then please do hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And I would love to know what other videos you would like to hear from us. So that's it from me today. I will be back next Thursday with another video for you. And until then, have a great weekend, have a great day, and take care of each other. Bye-bye.